so many times, yeah, to change the place of the demo, to change the time of the demo, to change the day of the demo, to get the demo stopped. Yeah, they requested time upon time upon time. And every time the council and the police would say, we can't do anything to stop this demo, we can't move it, we can't interfere with it at all, because, you know, freedom of speech, these guys can say whatever they want. But it's well known that if a demo is going to, you know, endanger the peace, that they've got every right and every power to stop that. And considering that we had the Birmingham demo and the Manchester demo before, you know, it's without doubt that there's going to be problems, that there's going to be a ruck. Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt about it. And it turns out that the police and the council actually had powers to be able to stop this demo. And this was shown weeks before with a pro-Palestinian rally in central London. And in that case, the pro-Palestinian rally wanted to march towards Trafalgar Square. Okay? And the EDL, they wanted to do a counter-demonstration in Trafalgar Square. So the police knew that it's going to kick off. So what they did is that they told the pro-Palestinian rally, you can't march to Trafalgar Square. Because if you march there, there's going to be a big ruck. And Trafalgar Square is like, it's one of the most touristic, most popular tourist spots in London. So we can't have a ruck there. Yeah? So basically they got the whole Palestinian rally moved somewhere else, and they couldn't march to Trafalgar Square. So what that shows is that they've got the power to change these protests, yeah? But they decided not to do that in this case. And as a result, yeah, I don't know if we were going to show this on the video, but as a result, EDL came down, only 25 people came down, and they were stationed far away from the mosque. But because you had so many Muslim youth that had come down, prepared weeks in advance, yeah, what we're going to do, we've got to beat them up, we've got to rush them out of town, etc. There was a massive ruck. Yeah, and if they couldn't find any EDL guys to beat up, because there was only 25 of them, they started attacking police vans and stuff like that, yeah, and bystanders. So the EDL and the council and the government, they got what they wanted, yeah, which was a massive ruck, and they got this reaction from the Muslim community that they wanted. And inevitably, it was beamed all over the country, on Sky News, on BBC. I'm sure we all saw some of the footage, yeah, that happened at Harrow. Now the thing is, brothers, is that this strategy and this tactic, yeah, of provoking a reaction out of the Muslim community so that you can pursue policies against them, yeah, this is not a new tactic at all. This is actually something that's been done many times in the past. And one of the most famous examples of this is the Second Intifada in Palestine, so the second uprising. And what happened there is that this happened in the year 2000, September 26th, 27th, yeah? And at that time, the Palestinians were commemorating the deaths of thousands of Muslims in Lebanon. And what happened is, 18 years before, a guy called Ariel Sharon, who was the Israeli defense minister, he ordered the slaughter of thousands of Muslims in Lebanon in the refugee camps. Okay? So this happened 18 years before this uprising. So obviously, Muslims and the Palestinians, they hate Ariel Sharon. What does he decide to do? On the day that was the anniversary of this, he came and he visited Masjid al-Aqsa and the grounds of Masjid al-Aqsa with a massive entourage of armed forces. So it doesn't take a genius, yeah, to realize what's going to happen. Yeah? You've already got a big Palestinian community that hates this guy, yeah, because he ordered the killing of thousands of Muslims. And then he's come to visit Masjid al-Aqsa, which is the third holiest site for the Muslims. So what's going to happen? Obviously there's going to be a reaction. And you saw the Palestinians grab anything to throw at these armed Israeli forces, yeah? Whether it be their shoes, whether it be their clothes, whatever they had in their hand, they would chuck at them. So you got a violent reaction from the Palestinians. And as a result of that, that gave the Israelis the excuse, yeah, that gave them the excuse to do many things to harm the Palestinians. Because they said, look, these guys are violent, they're dangerous, they've attacked us. So we need to take measures to quell this. So what they did, in the few days after the uprising started, the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, fired 1.3 million rubber-coated steel bullets at the Palestinians. Yeah? During the whole uprising, around 5,000 Palestinians were killed. Yeah? They did many incursions into the West Bank and killed many, many Palestinians. Also, Ariel Sharon, he didn't want to have any peace with the Palestinians. Yeah? He didn't want to give them any land. So obviously, peace talks were out of the question. Yeah? And the third thing, and this is probably, one of the most controversial things that the Israelis did, but as a result of this uprising, they got the go-ahead to build this massive, massive wall, gigantic wall, yeah, to enclose the Palestinians in the West Bank. Now this wall, bros, that I'm talking about, it dwarfs the Great Wall of China in terms of its depth and in terms of its height. Yeah, this wall that they built is 60 meters in depth. So from one edge of the wall to the other, 60 meters. And within that, they've got bare fences as well. So if you can't jump over this wall, yeah? You can't jump over it. And it's 8 meters high as well. So there's no way you can get over this wall. And as of 2006, this wall was 500 miles long. 500 miles. Now, the occupied territories of Palestine, it's not a big country. So 500 miles is almost top to bottom. Yeah? So it's a massive, massive wall. And what they used this wall for was, very cunningly, yeah, is that they actually started building this wall on West Bank territory. So they're actually taking more and more and more Palestinian land by building this wall on it. And obviously when you build a wall of this size and this stature, it really cements your position and your occupation of this land. So they used this reaction from the Muslims to be able to pursue these sort of policies against them. Yeah? So they set a trap. They set a trap and they got what they wanted, and they managed to roll out these policies against the Palestinians. And even if you look at, Britain, we saw the same thing with the printing of the cartoons. Na'udhu billah, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What happened? They knew that. They knew what Muslims are like. Yeah, they knew that if they print these cartoons, there's going to be an emotional reaction from sections of the community. And that's exactly what they got. And as a result of that, they really started to try and force this value of freedom of speech on the Muslim community. So they tried to show, look, these guys, they just go raggo when you criticize or insult their Prophet. Na'udhu billah. So, we've got to civilize them, we've got to give them this concept of, or this value of freedom of speech. And effectively, they want us to become like the Christian community. So the Christian community has this, it's adopted this value of freedom of speech. So if you insult Isa alayhi salam, na'udhu billah, even if you insult God, yeah, na'udhu billah, the Christian community doesn't say anything. So that was a trap as well. They wanted to set a trap, get a reaction so that they can, they could force these values on us. So there's no doubt that, they, with these demonstrations, they set a trap for the Muslim community. What's the other aims that they've got? Yeah, is this the only aim that they've got? The other aim that they've got is that they want to intimidate us and they want to scare us from exhibiting and discussing our Islamic values. Yeah? So they want to show us, look, you've got these EDL guys, they just want to come and beat you up. They just want to come and, harm the community. So they want to intimidate us and scare us into keeping our Islam on the lowdown. Yeah? Not discussing our Islam, not exhibiting our Islam. Yeah? They'd like it for us not to have these discussions in community centres. So they want to scare us to that level. They want to scare us so that we don't have discussions in the masjid about Islam. If they could have it their way, they'd actually scare us to the extent where we wouldn't even say salam in public to each other. Yeah, that's the kind of level that they want to scare us to. And obviously the reason for that is because they hate Islam. So they don't want to see aspects of Islam in their society. They don't want to hear people discussing Islam and attracting people to Islam. So they want to scare us so that we don't do these things. And some examples of this, brothers, some examples of this is, for example, with the Harrow Masjid, yeah? The EDL accused Harrow Mosque, accused Harrow Mosque of wanting to have Sharia courts. So what they want to do is they want to intimidate us to the level where they come and ask us, do you want to have Sharia courts in your mosque? And they want us to respond with, no, we don't want to have Sharia courts. Yeah, we don't have any Sharia. We don't want any of the Sharia stuff. That stuff's back.